Chat room, you know what to do. Let us know when you can see us and hear us.
Yeah. Okay.
Hear us.
Nope, that's last time. There we go.
All right. There we go. Yeah, I'm not dropping any frames. So,
Awesome.
no idea. We're just going to blame the internet and go with it.
Yeah, totally. Hashtag blame the internet.
Mm-hmm.
On your screen, I look like how you two look like. So
Weird.
Well, see, like, she's a little pixelated on mine. You're a mosaic on mine. But,
yeah.
All right. Max says he's jumping in now.
Excellent.
Yeah. But it's not the upload because I'm not dropping any frames going to Twitch or from OBS. So I have no idea.
It's just a Arizona, Texas issue.
Exactly. All right. Heather, go
All
ahead
right.
and say something. Yep.
I did. I'm saying something right now.
All right. And Maylong, you're good?
I am good.
All right.
Excellent.
Perfect. All right.
Good enough
Apparently,
for
I
your
am
work.
leading this rodeo show.
It is your rodeo, beloved.
All right. So we're gonna apologize right now for the.
Okay. Let me close the door.
Oh yeah, go ahead. We apologize right now for the video. We don't know what it is, but as long as you can hear us, we're happy. So that's a reference.
Well, the 5 for 5 is that I ate a lot of during my pregnancy, except for it was 2 for 5 because somebody else ate most of the roast beef sandwiches.
I'm using Apple TV as a front light right now.
Okay. You just got a white screen?
As white as I can get it. Apparently, Mulan is the only screen that's white right now.
There's a reference. Anyway.
Oh, unintended reference. Yes.
Yeah. All right. If we are all ready, which means I'm not ready, but okay.
Well, I'm not ready.
I'm not ready. Okay.
Let me move this down here. So it's.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm moving. Whoa! Get back your notes. Moving the notes so that they're somewhat underneath the camera, so it looks like I'm looking at the camera when I'm.
Yeah, that's what I have to do too.
Otherwise, I'm like looking over here.
Yeah, literally, I have the chat room on the right side of my screen, my notes on the left side of my screen, and the camera's in the middle.
Yeah. All right.
As close as it's going to get. All right.
Cool. We're going to go in 5, 4, 3. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
Our villagers are getting spooky.
And is coming soon. Ish. TM.
Swoop. There it went.
Raid guild band. Let me do that. Raid the guild links, please.
Please.
And we have Mail on here to talk about AIE and Lotro.
All that and more coming up right now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
Welcome to episode 353 of the podcast celebrating you, the Aliyah Ioctast gaming community. The Die Has Been podcast. This is Tetsemi, and to my right is Mewcow.
Greetings, ghouls and ghosties.
And to my left and up is McCullough.
There's a pair of clafoutis and some tiny pumpkin tarts in the guild kitchen.
That's an easy word for you to say, and it looks nothing like it should be a dessert. I have no idea what a clafoutis is, other than it was yummy.
Okay, so it's a French custard fruit tart.
That sounds
Thing.
good.
It was really good.
Yeah, okay.
It's what you had last night for dessert.
No, I know it was really good, but that is not a name I am
know.
familiar with at all.
I know.
So,
Nope.
all right, and that voice you heard means we are joined this week by special guest Mei Lung, who is here to talk to us about AIE and Lord of the Rings Online. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. So we are going to go around the room and discuss our weeks in gaming, in and out of virtual games, dice games, board games, things like that. I don't know that we played board games, but we'll find out. So, Makala, seeing as you literally just ended a game to get on the podcast, how are you doing?
So hey, yeah, I don't know, but sometimes Sundays literally is I play a cleric in D&D for 3 to 4 hours. I go into the podcast, and then I get a short dinner break, and then I go play another cleric.
Right? Yeah.
So I'm doing good. Gaming like a fiend. It's kind of like college where I would game 4 to 5 times a week.
Except
so
at more
pretty happy.
reasonable hours.
Except at more reasonable hours. Like literally, like in college, game would start at
10.
9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. That 10 o'clock game would often go till I don't know, till I had to be in class the next morning. Sometimes you then go to class and then come back and game more. But
Sleep was for the week.
Sleep was for the week. Hey,
It sounds like the snowboard games.
Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
because those often were going into the wee hours.
Yeah. Well, there
I miss
really is.
Snowbird.
I know. There really is a reason why I can function just fine on 5 hours of sleep. If we're being generous. It was
If
called
we're
my
being
college
generous,
gaming
yeah.
schedule. If we're being generous.
Yep.
So doing really good. Like I said, we stopped our session in the middle of a battle. But because our DM is also an experienced video game player, a lot of the times our battles are very much phased like a good raid battle is. So like we had ads we had to manage and we're dealing with its boss, and it was getting a few of us, and we got to the point where we hit the burn phase just as we had to log out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're dealing with this avatar of the Dark Wanderer, which is a different god than the Dark Whisperer. But it's a huge plot point. And we had like these 2 shards up, and every round it was bringing in so many ads. And it would, it had like one of us in our, literally my character was in its maw. The only thing that kept her from being down the 2 hit points was certain vulnerabilities she had. But because she has spiritual weapon up, which is not a concentration spell, she was able to hit it even though she was in its mouth, which actually got it to half hit points, which caused the burn phase where all the ads disappeared and stuff starts sucking into the void. So it's not really a great thing, but it at least
Minor improvement.
It dropped her, and we don't have the ads anymore, so that's good.
Now she can heal herself.
And the whole party, because at a certain level, much like a priest, you get whole party rating.
Yep. Whole party healing.
Yep. Or whole party, yeah, exactly. Whole party healing. Excuse me. So that was today. Thursday, we're working on Descent into Inverness, and we got also to a huge plot point where we now found out one of the leaders of the city is intending to take the city to hell, so to speak. And we're the only ones that know this, and the people that might be on our side aren't on our side. So we're pretty excited there, because we've been kind of plugging at this one, not for a while. We're low level, and low levels play is way harder. Let's see what else. Oh, Call of Cthulhu. We dealt with a spawn of Shugnaroth, and well, yeah, good thing we brought in ads with us. We brought in cannon fodder, and they all got eaten.
That's not
That's what they're
good.
good for.
Were they friendly
for.
cannon fodder, or were they chasing you cannon fodder?
No, they were friendly cannon fodder. They were bought. They were mercenaries.
So
See.
paid meal.
Exactly. Because my buddy's character is really, really rich, which gives us the ability to, because it's a more modern game, to just say, hey, we need a bunch of people to come with us. Here's the money we'll give you.
Sounds like every scenario in WoW regarding a battle. Look, here go all the peons. Oh, now they're dead.
Yep.
But on the plus side, I mean, did he pay ahead of time or did he pay afterwards?
He was paying afterwards.
Well, there you go. He saved some money.
Yeah.
See, as a mercenary, you never take that deal. You get the money up front. You spend
Actually,
it,
I do
and then
apologize.
you go into the battle.
2 of the 6 did survive, so they're actually probably going to get all the money. But
there you go.
Better for them. They can get better paid. You know?
right. And good luck us getting any more mercenaries.
Exactly.
But they survived. I mean,
they did survive. We do pay well, but the stuff we deal with is not of this world. So that's what I've been doing in games. Out of game. Sorry about that mess I made in the kitchen last night. Because
it was a tasty mess.
It was a tasty mess. Because I've been baking and cooking my way through the pandemic because we can't go out anywhere
or have anyone over.
And well, guys, I'm a Leo and I like the spotlight. So when I can't spoil my friends, I just make sure my family, which is usually spoiled anyway, is really spoiled. So a casual Saturday night dinner was, roasted chicken,
a whole roast chicken,
play, and clafoutis.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Awesome. And it was
It's
awesome.
casual. It's casual.
All right, Mew, what have you been up to?
Well, I was actually kind of going to comment on that too. Is one of the, I guess, benefits of our current life is that I'm home at 6:30, conveniently.
Yeah.
So we're definitely doing a lot more cooking.
Yeah.
A lot more. It's kind of interesting. We signed up a while back for something called Farmhouse.
Okay.
I heard about that.
Yeah, they just bring you a crate of local farm produce, and optionally, meats and whatnot. But we just do them for the produce. So we've kind of, we haven't been the best about it. We don't get to everything in time, but for the most part, we'll see what comes in the box and say, what can we make with that? What can we make with that? What can we make with that? And we'll dig through. A while back, we did HelloFresh, which is that the weekly thing. So we have all these recipes, and so we kind of dig through hey, make that, or Google it. But we also recently bought an Instapot, and have been amazed. Yeah, it's amazing what that thing can cook, and amusingly enough, the best thing we found is it does the best rice.
Yes.
Which is funny. We have this old rice cooker, probably from back in my own bachelor days, and it does a decent job. But the stuff that comes out of this Instapot is just so much better, and it's weird.
Great and if you want sticky rice, it makes amazing sticky rice.
It really infuses everything. It's normally the rice is just the plate for the food you're eating, and now it's I can taste the rice and it tastes good, and it's weird. But that's been a big part of our daily stuff. Is now we actually have time to do a little bit more prep work and cooking, and sometimes dinner's a little later, but it's because we've been taking some time to make stuff. But that's been an interesting focus. Game wise, I'd say last week probably spent a lot of my time in Final Fantasy 14, just doing idle stuff. But then this week, I got kind of blindsided by a game called Genshin Impact.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Really
so good. It is surprisingly good. It shouldn't be as good as it is. And
it's an American company that made it, not a Japanese company, right?
I thought it was a Chinese company, miHoYo, which I believe is a Chinese company.
Okay.
Maybe they were published by an American company.
They were published by it.
Because I want to say that it's worldwide. So but I think they made it. I think they did make it. It's somewhere, I want to say in Asia, but I thought the company when I looked it up was a Chinese company. But it's better than it has any business being, especially for a free to play game.
Yeah.
Like it is a truly free to play. Like you literally don't have to spend a cent because the premium stuff you can technically earn. Like just doing stuff in the game, doing the stuff you're supposed to be doing, it gives you that premium currency. And this is probably to avoid, regulators looking at them funny and saying, "Oh, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
It's because the way they make their money, of course, is what we call the whales are spending on a gacha game. It's you're basically rolling money to get these premium characters, and the thing is sure, the free to play player might take longer to get those free, but they have the same
but they can
chance
still
of getting
earn them. Yeah.
Well, and that's just it. It's truly RNG. It's true RNG. So like you roll it, and like a free to play player could have all of the best characters from their free rolls, whereas someone that has spent hundreds of dollars may not have.
Yeah.
Like that's that. But yeah, it has a really good story. The gameplay is really good. It's surprising. Like it's basically it's Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
And it has like the weaponry, how weapons work in Overwatch, but not the guns, like all the other non-gun stuff. It's like a looter shooter kind of like Borderlands is, and it has a little bit of co-op to it. It's not like full co-op, but like you can bring friends in and go after world bosses and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's I've just been, like I said, blindsided. Like I was not expecting to be playing this game. I was expecting to be, maybe doing some Fallout 76 and a little bit more Final Fantasy 14 while we wait for WoW to come around. But no, it's just got me out of nowhere. But yeah, that's probably been focus, and that, and outside gardening. We've probably seen pictures of that being floating around, but. Trying to get we've worked on the inside a lot of the house since we've been trapped here, but we're trying to make the outside look a little nicer. Like back here, I've kind of really abruptly screened in the balcony up there so that we and the cats can hang out there and just enjoy the nicer weather, because it's actually been nice. Like it's currently 79 degrees out, so
wow,
it's been amazing. But that's pretty much been it.
Cool. All right. And Mei Lung, what have you been up to?
Well, with me, been running in SWOTOR, been running ops. I'm on 2 ops teams. On Monday night, the 2 teams on the Republic side, we've been teaming up to do 16-man, the operations in 16-man. Last week we did Temple of Sacrifice. We breezed right through it. So we're like, hey, let's jump into Duxon, which is the new operation.
Right.
Let's just see how far we get. Well, we got through the Trandoshans, which is technically the 4th boss.
Right.
And then we were out of time. So like, okay, we'll pick it up next week. So this past Monday, we jumped in there, and the first boss, Red, showed us that Red's the boss, and we're going to spend over an hour getting past just that one boss.
Yeah.
Then after that, we breezed right through the other ones and ended right after Trandoshans again. So we're hoping tomorrow we'll be able to actually finish this thing, because that would be nice.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of, in Lotro, I've been doing a lot of test server. And then, because I'm avoiding the grind that I've been slowly working on in the live game.
Are you
my main
going for Steam achievements, or what are you doing in the live game?
In the live game, my main character used to be on a different server, and after 2.5 years of not playing him, I finally got him over to Landreval, which is where AIE is on, and Lotro. So I'm 2.5 years behind, and I haven't been doing the grind of getting my legendary weapons completely maxed out.
Okay.
So I've been doing everything but that grind.
Right.
Which
and
I started
time
picking
for
it up.
that grind.
Yes, it's time for that grind. So, but for the most part, I've been jumping back into Guild Wars 2 as well, having fun in there. But for the most part, that's what I've been doing, avoiding real life. Looking forward to New Year's, the week of New Year's, which is when I have my vacation. So I
Yeah.
can't wait till then.
Oh, and just pro tip for anyone that has a Fitbit or an Apple Watch and wants to get in a contest with how many steps you take a day, don't mess with Mei Lung. He walks for a living.
Mail wins.
He does.
Yes.
I mean, I thought I was an active person. No, Mr. Mailman here, just insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to have one.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm getting tired of seeing this sucker go over 30,000 steps every day.
Yeah.
Like your regular steppage is like the equivalent of us at Disneyland, which is all walking. Yeah, no, it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. And I have been dipping into a lot of beta. We'll get into that in the news and everything with the launch of the expansion Shadowlands and WoW getting pushed back, and the PTR going to finish up next week, and then we'll get a launch on the 13th of the pre-patch part of the thing. I've been helping a couple of add-on authors test their code on the PTR and in Shadowlands. I've also switched add-on managers because Twitch is going away and it's going to be replaced by Overwolf, which has moved up its launch schedule. Now it's going to launch in beta on the 20th of October, but there's a little add-on manager called wowup.io, and it works really well. Simple interface, simple layout. You can tell it, hey, I want, all these add-ons at release level, beta level, alpha level. It currently picks up 4 of the add-on sites right now. There's still a little bit of hiccup in that it's not finding it has like a preference, like I prefer this site, but there's a newer version on another site. It won't necessarily pick it up, but they're working through that. So it's really a good little add-on manager, and it's lightweight. It's a single executable, so there's no install you have to do. You can just drag it around to whatever drive you want. Finds all your WoW installs, because I have WoW Retail, PTR Retail, Classic, and Beta, and it even recognizes the Classic PTR. So with like 0 configuration, so it's really good. So that's mainly what I've been up to, and then dabbling with No Man's Sky, as Max calls it, No Man's Sky. I finally made it off the planet, out of the first galaxy, onto another planet, and I found a bigger, better ship with more stuff. But of course, it's all damaged, so now I have to repair it all. So now I'm hopping planets, gathering resources to make the stuff to repair that. I'm managing 2 different bases, so I can just teleport between them without having to fly the ship between them and that sort of stuff. So, and then we skipped 1 week of our D&D game that we play after this, because Ro was a little bit busy launching Warcraft Radio, which we'll talk about as well further on. But we've been having fun in that. My rogue is having fun disappearing at the start of combat and then reappearing out of the shadows after combat is order, and causing one of our players to think that I'm just ducking out of the battle completely. And we had fun role-playing that. So, but yeah, that's what I've been up to. So with all that, I think it is time to dig into Lord of the Rings Online shortly. But first, let's breeze through the news.
AIE News.
And we'll start with community and the mandatory fun nights, where the fun is mandatory, but the attendance is not. Sundays, earlier today at 2 p.m. Eastern, was WoW Classics Sunday Fun Day. And in about 4 minutes will be STOs at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Then Monday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern is Guild Wars 2. Then starting Tuesdays, we have SWTOR at 9 p.m. Eastern, followed by Final Fantasy XIV Casual Rating at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Then over on to Wednesday, where Final Fantasy XIV does their fun night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Followed on Thursday by Final Fantasy XIV doing Progression Rating at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Then we're going to mix it up, and on Fridays, we'll have ESO at 9 p.m. Eastern, followed by Final Fantasy XIV doing their late night fun nights at 11 p.m. Eastern. Then Saturday, we're mixing it up again with Lord of the Rings starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, followed by Final Fantasy XIV doing map nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Then a little bit after that, New Braid starts at 11 p.m. Eastern in WoW.
Right. Thank you for that information. And in Guild Podcast news, SWTOR Escape Podcast 354, all the achievements. Max Sima and EPC 354 talk about the fact that Steam has everyone thinking about achievements. They had 2 guests on to talk a little about Steam and how to go about getting as many achievements as possible. And in Escape Podcast 355, PTS Pinata. Much like a pinata, this week's PTS is filled with fun. And we also have the Fleet Action Report episode 11, Social Aspects. Nikodas and Greybog cover the social aspects of the game and how to use them in to group up with friends. They talk about how to find a guild and what's going on and what goes on with being guild officers, which are some of the best equipment. I can't speak. Which is some of the and what is some of the best guild up. I'm gonna start that again. Pardon me. All right. They also go into finding a guild and what goes into. Wow.
Sentences are hard.
Yes. All right. We're actually starting all over. Nikodas and Greybog cover the social aspects of the game and how to use them to group up with friends. They also go into how to find a guild and a lot of what being in a guild offers, which sometimes is some of the best equipment and officers. And in Fleet Reaction Report episode 12, Enemies Part 2, this time they kill Greybog's internet while talking about the second group of enemies. A bit of DS9 theme this time. They discuss Cardassians.
Don't do that.
I know it happened once. We
No.
took a hike and we realized we were calling the reality people Cardassians the entire time.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no.
Dividends, which are ghosts in space, the Dominion, and the Terran. They brought along special guest Borngrer. That is relatively a recent. That is a relatively
recently joined, I think is what it meant to put. Yeah.
Got it. Yes. Okay. Thank you. And in Working Class Nerds News, episode 83, Console Wars Part 2. Marcus and Nick chat with the University of Coruscant's own Dr. Ravencourt, aka James, about the new Xbox Series and PS5 consoles coming out this fall. Also, as Tet referred to in general podcast news, we are on the Warcraft Radio's podcast directory listing and would love for you folks to stop by and leave a review if you're so inclined. It does use your BattleNet verification to make sure you're a real person and not a robot or spam bot, much like Wowhead and other WoW-related news sites.
And we have a link in the show notes for anyone that wants to go do that.
But if you want to if you don't want to look at the show notes, it is warcraftradio.com/directory/.
And in Imperium Ludi news, Animal Crossing, the October/Halloween update is live. Plant pumpkins, get new spooky DIYs, and collect candy leading up to an event on October 31st. In Dual Universe news, members have been busy building new ships and have started making their way to far-off planets. The organization is now taking weekly trips to visit and mine distant planets, and the organization also has new My First Space Haulers to hand out to new players who want to travel into space without having to build a ship first. Upcoming things planned. They are having a mining trip that will be to the distant, dry, rocky planet on the far edges of the solar system in search of mysterious, elusive ore. And work is progressing on the new ship dedicated to finding and transplanting ore. Sounds a lot like Eve, except without the pew pew boom. Oops, I lost
boom,
my ship.
Right?
Yeah.
The ocean.
Bit of game news. The devs are hard at work improving the game every day while in beta. This week they got our first set of in-game emotes, bow, clap, point, and wave, and it's opened a new level of interaction with the game's community. For anyone interested in checking out Dual Universe, Cadavari has a couple of beta invites. You can find him in the Dual Universe channel under Nomads in the AIE Discord.
And being a bit more nomadic, we'll be talking about Destiny 2. As far as AIE, there's been low activity, so please continue to use Discord to reach out to fellow Guardians. But from Bungie, they do have a This Week at Bungie news clip. The Festival of the Lost is returning October 8th. It is the October seasonal event. And then over in Division 2, looks like from, again, some low activity. So continue to reach out to your fellow agents in Discord to help make the streets safer. But from Ubisoft, we have This Week in Division 2 on the Ubisoft site. A very long URL in the show notes if you'd like to get to it. Season 3 has begun. Read more about the happenings in Division 2 at This Week in the Division blog article. Then over in Diablo 3 and 4 news, looks like from the Blizzard side of things, the PTR for 2.6.10 update began October 1st. Log in to have a look at what the next season will bring. And then over in D4, the next quarterly updates are available to read at blizzard.com site. There is a full post there, link in the show notes. Looks like they have some skills and talents, a glimpse at the sorceress enchantment system and the endgame progression system.
And is it just me, or did they just kind of borrow Tadrossel and just move it over to Diablo? Because that's what that tree looks like. So.
Yeah, it's world trees. World trees are pretty prevalent everywhere. But
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it WoW borrows from Diablo all the time. Why not go the other way?
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
World trees are so prominent in all courts of mythology. Tadrossel is almost Yggdrasil when you look at the name. So,
Exactly. Yep.
It's a hero with 1,000 faces, but, for world trees. Anyways, and in WoW news, welcome, where is the tank, Wit, to the raid team guild bank program. We still have 1 or 2 cold guilds left unclaimed if any raid teams want to join up before Shadowland drops. If you want more information, contact Cyrene. HFO was 2% away from killing the Voss. They will get him next week. They are still recruiting for the Alliance raid team, which is Fridays from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. server time. Speaking of raiding, while many raid teams might be on break, recruiting for Shadowlands will be starting up soon. If you're interested in raiding in WoW, post a notice on the raid recruitment channel in Discord, or contact the team lead for any team postings looking for more. Brewfest is still going on for a few more days. Get your brew on, and DMF is starting. Don't forget to grab your buff while finishing panic leveling your alts. Also, good news and really bad news. That's kind of good news. We have a pre-patch date, October 13th. This will be the 9.01 patch that brings all the changes we've talked about before, but none of the Shadowland content. Keep an eye on New Braid for events relating to the pre-patch world boss. And the bad news that might actually be good news, the launch of Shadowlands has been delayed until later this year. Blizzard is back to we'll release it when it's ready mode, and honestly, at least I know Tet specifically is pretty glad to see that, because we all know that frustration of a game getting released when they haven't worked out all the bugs.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating. It's like, it's banging your head against a keyboard.
Yeah, and I feel sorry for all the people that planned vacation time off for for the launch and everything. And a lot of people, because it's at the end of the year, they're at you plan this week, you have to take it or you lose your vacation. So it sucks.
Yep.
But it needed to be delayed. It's not in a shippable state right now, at least for Endgame.
And we know how it is, when they do ship it before and it's not ready yet. And I can imagine just what they must be coming up against with this by making that decision so close to launch. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, but literally some class and specs were doing half of the DPS of other classes and specs.
God, no.
5%, okay, we can ship it. 50%,
no.
And they made this problem themselves, which is fine because they've got to solve it. But you take 36 specs times 4 covenants times all the conduit combinations. You've got a huge. You've seen my spreadsheets. I can only imagine the spreadsheet they have trying to go, okay, so if we put the Demonology Warlock in this covenant with these conduits, they're now doing this much. So do we nerf the Demonology Warlock or do we nerf the conduit, the covenant? What do you tune? You can't just tune the class because then the class starts underperforming. But if you tune the covenant, now these classes start underperforming. If they've got a lot of work to get this sorted out, as I'm sure Mew knows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is, though I am glad that they did make the decision. It's going to make for people being a lot more satisfied in the long run.
Yeah.
But as you said, in fact, I know somebody, you included, who kind of planned their time off around, okay, here's the week I'm going to just play WoW, I'm going to work on leveling, I'm going to get ready for raiding.
Yep.
So in fact, luckily enough for us, because we're doing a adventure for Halloween, one of our members said, okay, it's a one shot, I'm not going to be able to do it because I need to work on leveling my character.
Right.
It got canceled, it got pushed back. Like, never mind, here's my character. For the one shot. So yeah. Yep. And by the way, another AIE WoW news. They have cleared in AIE WoW Classic. They have cleared Blackwing Lair 9 for 9. Congratulations!
Good job, team.
Yay! We did it.
And in SWTOR news, Swoop Racing came and went again. As the newest event that BioWare has added to the game, it's still pretty fresh and people are getting achievements and rep. A brand new event is on the PTS server now called the Feast of Prosperity. Drop in and give it a test. BioWare is asking for feedback and making changes based on it, so please check it out. The event is about food and cooking and philanthropy, maybe. So what possibly could go wrong? Yeah. Friday nights in SWTOR has become their variety night. Every other week, they have Master Mode flashpoints. On in-between weeks, they have achievement runs. And then once a month, they have Mega. I mean, I might have run out of Fridays here, but don't count. Tuesday nights are still the mandatory fun nights, and we have lots of operation teams running regularly. If you're interested in participating, just drop into the Discord and ask about any of those activities. BioWare is trying new things recently to stem toxicity in the game, especially in PvP matches, especially in ranked PvP. Just hearing about it reminds Seema of how grateful she is for the AIE community, which affords her a bubble where she doesn't have to experience or even think about toxicity in gaming. Good luck to BioWare in their efforts, and yay for AIE. And just a reminder, double XP /renown /valor is ongoing until October 13th. Months are hard.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What is time?
And over in ESO, a mandatory Fun Night on Friday was spent doing the 3 daily quests in Skyrim to earn loot and event tickets for the current event. Most of everyone has spent time over the last week digging in the dirt for cool antiquities. They spent some time touring the new house that we earned for all the digging. They're planning on MFN on Friday as usual, which will either be dungeons or a zone clear. Don't forget to claim the reward that was earned in the Crown Store for all the digging that has been happening. It will only be available until October 15th at 10 a.m. Eastern. It's called the Lost Treasures of Skyrim, if you're looking for the name of it on the Crown Store. Includes paint, a pet, body paint, a house guest, and the aforementioned house for the house guest to actually guest in.
Nice.
And if you're looking for the name of the house, it is the Antiquarian's Alpine Home. It's quite the mouthful, but that's where it is. Make sure, of course, to raid the guild bank for recipes, style pages, and motifs. There's plenty in there, so please take it all.
Awesome. All right. And in STO news, the biggest need is that we have a KDF fleet now, and they're looking for a home for their KDF faction champions. The name is AIE, or sorry, Alia Acta Est Honorius.
Yep,
Honoris.
And KDF is Klingon Defense Force. It's essentially the non-Federation faction. So it'd be like Horde and Alliance. Now you have...
Yep. That makes perfect sense. All members should know that the Fed side will still be everyone's main priority, so will not be likely to progress as quickly in fleet holdings. Other things in game, Cryptic has been dropping a lot of news on great things coming soon, from a new TFO dungeon based on the show Picard to experimental ship upgrades. For the fleet, they've been making huge strides forward with fleet holdings and such, and have several large projects in progress. As these large projects take considerably more resources, it may appear progress is slowed, but it's likely it is not, and the big projects are just taking more of those fleet resources to be completed.
Yep. And in Guild Wars 2 news, Monday Fun Nights. Jedi would like to get at least 5 people together so he can drag them through dungeons and fractals. So if you have Guild Wars 2, remember it's a buy it once, play it, hop on Monday nights, and look for Jedi.
Fractals, are they doing math over there?
Yeah.
And over in Final Fantasy XIV, lots of armor weapon appearances have been collected from folks, and they're showing off their glamours. You'll probably see that in either the Final Fantasy XIV channel or the Pixar Didn't Happen channel.
Mm-hmm.
They had a blast on map night, both groups getting some good loot, but Kelsier's luck continued, and no fifth floor for his group. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Some new folks have joined recently, so come visit the FC house and see what's going on.
And just a quick note on that Abbo dropped in, I forgot to include. We now have a house decorator / planner, so they are working on doing it, so you may see some things moving around. So pardon our dust, we're under construction.
Just in time for Halloween, or All Saints Week, as they call it. As a reminder, math nights are Saturday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, and mandatory fun nights are Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Of course, we're looking forward to that there's a patch 5.35 on the horizon. This one will expand on the resistance weapon, upgrading our resistance weapons similar to the relics and previous expansions that we've received in the previous patch. I think it's 5.3. Mm-hmm. And much like the guild bank is full. Everyone needs to come take all these recipes. Just go to all the guild banks, take all the stuff.
Exactly.
It's just sitting there.
Yes.
Take it, use it.
Use it, please. Do not take it and put it on the auction house. That is not what is that for. All right.
Yeah.
And with that, let's get back to Maylong and find out what is going on in Lord of the Rings Online and the Landroval server.
Oh, all kinds of things. And I know this is going to make Marcus go completely crazy off of his rant on his podcast. Because last time I was on, we had news story stuff and new event. Mm-hmm. And now there's going to be an in-game event this coming Saturday, October 10th. It's going to be a chicken play race. Really fun. You play as a level 1 chicken. Mm-hmm. And you run around, you have to talk to people, and you have to avoid any mob that's out there because they will attack you. It's really fun. You have different abilities. Uh, and there will be prizes to everybody who attends.
Oh, awesome. Kind of like
Excellent.
running of the gnome race in WoW, or the naked runs they do in SOTOR, where it's like avoid all the non-friendly NPCs, you will get eaten.
Yes, exactly. And for those who the past 2 weeks we've been doing, there's 4 quests that you have to do beforehand to set up for the part that we're going to do. On Saturday, I will be in game around 8 p.m. Eastern time. If anybody wants help running those 4 pre-quests, and also early in the next couple of days, there will be a blog post out for the Chicken Play event that Max, or mainly Max, but and myself will be working on to get out there.
Very cool.
But the fun stuff is we are getting a new expansion pack. Which this is the part
Yay!
that's going to make this is the part that's going to make Marcus go crazy. It's going to be War of the Three Peaks,
Ooh.
which I've been in game. It's in the test server. There's some really cool stuff. As far as price, there's going to be 3 different tiers, just like Standing Stone Games have done.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be cheaper because it's not going to be as big as the previous expansion packs. The 3 tiers is going to be $20, $60, and $99. Bad part is there's no pre-order on these, so it's not available until the expansion pack drops.
So, how does this affect people that have the lifetime membership or whatever? Do you still have to buy the expansion?
All the expansion packs you do have to buy.
Okay. That's what I thought. Okay.
And the community manager said on a stream on Friday that with the different tiers that you buy, there's always stuff inside those tiers, but we're not going to be able to get a look at what's inside of those until the expansion pack drops. Not a big fan of that, but they're actually still working on the list. So
Gotcha.
legally they can put it out there.
Okay.
Yeah, they must be missing stuff because, like, normally that's part of the hype is you want to show what you're going to get, and you allow the pre-order, so that's like the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they, due to COVID and other things, much like WoW having to delay Shadowlands and some other games getting delayed, if they just don't have the full resources they plan to get this out the door the way they wanted to.
I mean, that's the way it seems. Because the only thing that they did put out there is there's going to be boar mounts.
Ooh.
There's 2 different boar mounts. They're going to be
Really?
included in the $60 and the $99 ones.
Okay. Very cool. So, are the amounts like you buy it once and you buy the expansion, now it's account wide, you can use it on any of your characters, or do you have to claim it on a certain character?
It is account wide.
Okay.
You know, if the list is like what it's been in previous expansion packs, there may be like a level boost or something like that will
Okay.
only go on the first
Right.
on character that you log into or the first server that you log into.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
But other than that, the rest of the stuff should be account wide. The boar mounts, it's going to be an account wide mount that no matter what character will get it whenever you log into the character.
Okay. And what map or area have they said is the Three Peaks on?
It's north of the area the newest area.
Okay.
It's it's an area that is in the lore of stuff. It's in the Gundabad area if
Okay.
you're really big into Tolkien and the Middle Earth lore.
Gotcha. So have they? I'm trying to remember on the progression. How far into the Ring's journey are they with the expansions, or is this post Ring destruction?
This is post Ring destruction.
Okay.
They wrapped up the what you see in the movies and in the books and all that stuff. They wrapped that up with the Mordor expansion pack at the
Okay.
beginning of that.
Gotcha.
And now everything from here on out is all pretty much fan fiction, and
Right.
they're writing it based on the lore that's in the books and what little we can glean from all that.
Right. From what's in the Silmarillion and from some of the follow up stuff Christopher Tolkien published, and
Yes.
very cool. Very cool.
Uh,
So that's kind of cool because they're kind of writing
Yeah.
their own version of history for the adventure going forward. That's really interesting.
Yeah, and what happened when Saruman fell
Mm-hmm.
and lost most of his power. You still had all these groups of people, and when they dispersed, they didn't lose their sight of Middle Earth and all that stuff. But what actually happened
Yeah.
Neat.
in the fallout of that?
Cool. And remind me, did they cover with the hobbits coming back to Bree and the war back in Hobbit and that sort of thing at the very end?
That part they have not covered yet.
Okay.
That's one of those that we keep asking the
When?
community manager, when
Yeah.
are we getting this? When are
Yeah.
we getting this? He says, we're getting it at some point. Eventually, it's not going to be anytime soon.
Okay.
But that is something that they do want to do. But they say it's going to be too tricky right now to cover it. And they're having so much fun with these other areas.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, and also then they'd have to work on, much like WoW does and Final Fantasy 14 does, with phasing. Like, here's what it looked like when you start the game, and then you come full circle, and now you have to deal with the event after the ring's destruction, and deal with all that. So I can imagine they want to be very careful about how they address that and how they move that forward.
Yeah, because like with Minas Tirith, like with the one that came out, the update that came out during the summer, the wedding event, which
Mhm.
was really cool. That added a third instance to just Minas Tirith, because you
Right.
had pre-battle Minas Tirith, post-battle Minas Tirith, where it's all destroyed,
Right.
and then you have the wedding where it's all pretty again.
Right.
So they had 3 different instances on that.
Just depending on where you were in the storyline. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. One of the things that they are adding to this expansion pack, which I've been doing a lot of testing on this, is what they call missions. These are scalable from level 20 to level 130, and they do scale really well. They're like little mini dungeons and skirmishes and that. In my opinion, they're a little short. From what I've seen, they take maybe 3-5 minutes to run them.
Mm-hmm.
They're dailies. For the daily quest, you run 3 different missions, and for the weekly, you have to do 4 dailies.
Okay.
So 4 days, and the rewards that they've shown are really good. It'll help with
Nice.
my grind on my legendary weapon,
Yeah.
which I'm looking forward to. But the one cool thing about these missions is every single mission has a twist involved, and it's completely separate, ranging from the mobs that you're going up against may call up a reinforcement. So instead of 1 mob, you're going up against 2. If you have a group of 4, you may they might call up a reinforcement, and now you're up against 8.
Okay.
Neat.
Very
Uh,
cool.
Some of them, the mobs enrage at low health. At low health, they may kill themselves and to damage you.
Right.
Hmm.
One of them, which was really fun, the mobs will apply a flaming reflect shield on themselves, which you can clearly see it, but when they do, you need to tab target to a different one. Otherwise,
Right.
you'll kill yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Oh gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a really fun mechanic.
It really is. Was the meta deed for that? There's like 80 different missions, so you have a wide variety of them to choose from.
Cool. Mew, it almost sounds like in Final Fantasy 14, the level 1 to 30 missions where it's like go in, defeat this one mob, he brings that, the ones that kind of teach you how to play with a group.
The guild leaves
Yes.
or the leave quests.
The guild ones, yeah.
Yeah, with these, they are only solo or duo. I don't know how they do in a group with 2 people
Yeah.
of 2 different levels.
They'd have to scale it or yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been able to test that part yet.
Gotcha.
But in solo, they've been pretty easy to do in solo mode.
Cool.
And of course, they're doing class changes. Guardians seem to have the most changes, and depending on who you talk to, it's either the worst thing or the best thing that's ever happened to them.
Welcome to change in an MMO.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
but one thing I'm on the class changes, I'm trying not to say too loudly. So far, Hunter, which is my main, what I main,
Right.
has only had one thing that's changed, and it doesn't make a big difference.
That's
because
good.
the only thing that's changed is strong draw, I think it is.
Yeah.
Instead of it only applies to ranged instead of it applying
Ranged or
to
melee.
melee as well.
Yeah.
Which,
remember
as a
that.
hunter, if you do melee attacks, you're not really doing much.
No.
Yeah.
You don't want to be
If
in
you're a
it.
As a
glass
hunter, yeah.
Exactly.
As a hunter, you should not be doing melee attacks
No.
generally. So yeah.
you should not be in range to do a melee attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If they're up to you, there's a problem.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. But so far, that's the only change, and I'm hoping it stays that way.
Yeah.
As a hunter, leave us alone.
Exactly. So.
One of the really cool things is on Bullroar, which I'm hoping this goes to the live servers, is that they've added a checkbox while you're logging in to say, hey, keep me logged in for 8 hours. So if you close out, and just as long as it's within that 8 hours, it takes you
Nice.
straight to the server select screen.
Okay.
So it saves a step in there.
Cool. Much like the WoW launcher does. So you can just fire it up, log in without having to do all your authentication stuff. That's good.
Yeah. Of course, and if you ever go onto a test server, sometimes the devs accidentally let something slip,
Right.
which Standing Stone Games did. They accidentally left one piece of text in there in one of the menus
Mm-hmm.
for the different classes. It was Berserker. So we were like, okay, what's Berserker?
Yeah.
Apparently, this is a new race, a new class
New class.
that they're coming out with. They said it's not going to be in the War of Three Peaks expansion.
But the
But they're-
expansion after it probably.
They're hinting it'll be in the Gundabad expansion, which is coming next year.
Interesting.
That
So
they've already announced.
new playable class. That'll be interesting.
Yes.
And now I want a Hobbit Berserker.
The only thing that they've hinted at what it's going to be is all they said is it's not going to be like the mage in Dungeons and Dragons Online. Where
Okay.
it's not going to be a uh, martial arts
Right.
type of class. It's
Okay.
not going to be that. So we don't know anything about it.
Okay.
Interesting.
You don't know if
I
you're getting
really-
Conan the Berserker or something.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Unfortunately, don't know all that.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like they're really, not that they haven't been putting out expansions and stuff, because obviously they have, but it sounds like they're really starting to ramp up work on the game even more than they were in the past.
It definitely seems like that, because one thing that they've wanted to put in there, which they said that they're going to, and it's still a little buggy on Bull Roar right now, is also race change tokens, to where,
Okay.
Ah.
if you were a man, you want to be a hobbit, you can change the race.
Right.
Just as long as the classes will change as well.
Right. Right.
And all your, whatever you've advanced for the class traits
Mm-hmm.
will advance as well.
Gotcha. Okay. Can you buy the expansions with the currency you get from being a subscriber?
You just have to wait. What Standing Stone Games does, you can buy those using the Lotro points.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't have to pay anything additional. You
Okay.
just have to wait roughly 3 to 6 months after it's been released.
Gotcha. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Because I know people who have not paid a single penny and on one of their accounts, just to show you can be completely free to play in this game. You can grind out the Lotro points
Yeah.
in game and not pay anything and have everything unlocked.
Yeah. Well, or you have the lifetime and you just get the coins and
Yeah.
collect them and forget to log in for 5 years.
Yeah,
And then
that's
spend
happened
them.
as well.
Yeah. So, very cool.
But for the most part, that's, there's a lot of changes coming, and there's at least going to be one more test server build at minimum before it's released. So we're hoping end of October we'll get the new expansion pack. But
Okay.
like with WoW, they have to put it off. Hey, if you have to put it off, make sure it's right.
Yeah.
Let's put it off.
Exactly.
It makes much more sense having something that is ready to go on day one than having to deal with all the updates and the frustration and not being able to get in and things not working.
I mean, because
Yeah.
generally for MMO content, when you release something, you're well on to the next patch or the next expansion and having to pull resources off those to go back and fix stuff or include it in the patch that you weren't planning on including on throws your whole schedule off. So if you just delay it so you can keep your cadence going forward, it's for the better as much as it stinks. But what are you gonna do?
Which I think the last expansion they delayed it maybe a week or two. That's
Right.
about it. So
Okay.
I can handle a week or two because
Yeah.
I'll be busy anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just a reminder for everyone, mandatory fun nights for Lord of the Rings is Saturdays, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 max time.
Exactly. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else?
That's about it. Everyone is welcome to come to the Chicken Play Race event. All you have to do is be out of the intro area.
Yep.
So,
And then you said there's 4 prerequisite quests once you get out of the starting area you have to do?
yes, there's 4 of them. I ran them today. Just, okay, how long does it take?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, also know exactly.
You know what you're doing.
Quite
Yeah.
a few times. I know what I'm doing. And it took me 20 minutes to do those 4 quests. They're really easy, real simple.
Gotcha.
But I will be in game roughly 8 Eastern on Saturday if anybody wants help.
Awesome. That's great. All right. Well, I think that is going to be our show for tonight. While the chat room begins suggesting show titles, we want to thank Mei Lung for joining us, as always. And don't forget, the STO Mandatory Fun Night is allegedly going on, but I don't see anyone in the STO channel. So I'm trying to remember. I think Dent said they may have taken this week off for real life things.
Didn't had to work.
Yeah.
Ah,
So it
yes.
normally STO
STO
starts
tonight.
8:30 Eastern, halfway through the scheduled run of the podcast. So all right. And Mei Lung, if people want to get a hold of you, is the best place the AIE Discord?
Yes, I have Twitter and all that stuff, but I don't really check it. So
Okay. Sorry.
Discord, I am
chuckling.
guaranteed.
Go ahead.
Discord, you're guaranteed to find me. Yeah, I'm seeing those as well.
Yeah. These are great, guys. Keep them going.
Mordor is a foul place. Oh, you guys. That's just
Wow.
bad, Max. Oh, sorry. Ann.
Clucking bad.
All right.
Yep. If you have questions or comments about the bad titles we're getting, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can also follow us on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast. I am at the Mew Cow, which I still can't get Mew Cow for some reason. Makala is at Cyberwave, and Tetsemi is at Ivory Tiger. Apparently, I just need to have a name that doesn't match mine, and I'll have it, no problems.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yes. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, which is in about a month will be changing over to Pacific time, won't you? Or no, you'll be switching to
Mountain Time.
The other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
We go an hour closer to you. We move
That's what it is.
east.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
They just pick
if
up
you
the
want
whole
to-
state.
Yeah. Why not? Makes sense. If you want to join us for all this silliness live at the chat room and play along with us on our website, it's at aie-guild.org/podcast-live-stream. And our Discord server for chat is aie-guild.info/discord. Past episodes, you can see them on the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/c/the AIE Podcast. And our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul on Twitter or visit his website, andrewallenmusic.com.
And now it's time to play all the great AIE member segments we received this week. And we didn't. So if you guys have anything you want to play around with, if you want to do some intro to Shadowlands stuff as you're kind of once it drops and want to have some fun with some segments, if you want to give us a ad for your podcast, we definitely want that. You can email that to podcast@aie-guild.org. We do ask that you keep it, around 60 to 90 seconds?
Yep.
Yep. Awesome.
All right. And next time, Popato's willing, we will be talking to Abavan in Final Fantasy XIV. So until then, AIE, this is Tetsemi.
This is Mukau.
This is Makala.
And this has been the AIE Podcast. Yay!
Hey, thank you, Malong.
Yes. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. It's a lot of stuff going on, Lotro.
Yes, it is.
Very cool. All right. Chat room, do we have any other show titles? Because if not, I think Malon, you get a pick. there's some good ones to pick from.
There are. And, Max is typing, so.
Oh no,
Okay.
he just said well done. Okay.
Okay.
He dropped his
As
one
much as I
pun
hate-
and he's good.
As much as I hate to give it to Max, that is a great one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Mordor as a foul place.
Okay. No, that's
I really,
perfect.
yeah, it is good. I also
Next
I
time-
like the before ring or after ring too, just
Yes.
because
Yes.
time zones or whatever. Not time zones. Eras is
you
always
know what?
fun.
We could
Yeah, you can
combine
do-
the two.
Yeah, before ring or after ring, Mordor is a foul place.
Yeah.
I-
Or I was going to
yes.
say, or Mordor is a foul place. Is that before ring or after ring?
I'm digging both of those though.
Yeah, we'll combine the two. We'll make a mashup. So, all right. Well, chat room. Then I'm gonna go ahead and cut the feed, and it is dinner time. Bye.
It is indeed.
Yeah.